Hey folks, welcome to a new MasterThatRiff. I'm going to show you how to play Dokken's Kiss of Death in this lesson with Mr Lynch, of course, on guitar. I'm in standard tuning for this, and this riff is pretty much all in guitar-friendly E minor. So the first, I'll break this down into kind of 4 sections, and the first 8 bars is this 4-bar riff kind of repeated. So the first 2 bars of that slowly sounds like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slide an E power chord, 7th fret the A string, 9th fret the D string. Now I'm playing this with my 1st and 4th finger, which I noticed that's how George Lynch actually plays it. And I kind of do that for a little bit of control with the middle finger to mute this string here. And then I can hit, kind of be a little loose with the kind of picking hand. And maybe I hit that string there, but I've got it kind of muted. But I'm playing the E power chord, and I slide back to a D power chord, so I'll just go back a whole tone there, and that's like beat 1 and, okay? Once you've done that, I'm going to release the pressure actually on that D power chord. This is a good thing to do throughout this riff. Whenever I'm playing the pan muted D string here that I'm going to do next, I can release the pressure, you know, just to kind of make sure that I don't hear the chord kind of ringing out. So I've sit back, then I play the open pan mute E string twice, and then that D power chord again. Yeah. Then what I'm going to do is basically 3 of these pan muted E string, 4, like 3 E and A, so it's like 4 of them. Then the D power chord. Yeah. So it sounds like this. Yeah, so you get 3 of them. Then I play the open pan mute twice. And then I'm going to play 1st fret that A string now. And it's the rhythm of this is you play that in beat 4, and then the and of beat 4 you're kind of sliding up the neck. So it kind of goes 4 and to get back up to the E power chord again. So those 2 bars slowly sound like this. Okay, we pretty much play that all again. But once we get to the 3rd little group of 4 pan mutes in the E string, I do 4 of them. Instead of playing D powered chord this time, I'm going to go down to the 1st fret, do a pull off 1 to 0 on that A string. Then I'm going to pretty much play the A string pan muted twice. Then I do it again. So it's kind of like 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Okay. So those 2 bars slowly sound like this. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's your 4 bars. You repeat that twice to get your 8 bars. Then the next section, next 8 bars, again is a 4-bar idea repeated twice. And it's pretty much all the same apart from endings. So the first time, what we're going to do is we do our usual slide with the E to D power chord. Once I get to this 3rd D power chord here, or 4th one I guess, I'm going to do this little... So I'm going to do a pull off 1 to 0 on the A string, then 3rd fret the E string. I'm going to slide back up the neck to get ready for the E power chord again. So those 2 bars slowly sound like this. Yeah, and that's me kind of continuing the next bit. In the next 2 bars, same again, you slide back. So after you do your pan mute on the E string 4 times, I'm going to play 2nd fret that A string, 5th fret that A string, yeah. And the first time he plays it, he digs in, so they come out as little kind of pinch harmonics. Yeah. And then you repeat that all again. Without that kind of dig in for the pinch harmonics. Okay. Now, after these 8 bars, we're going to kind of the 3rd section here, and then we're going to have a little more kind of sustained chords. So first off, I play like the E power chord, but the rhythm's different now. You're holding that for a whole beat, and I'm going to slide back. I hit the D power chord after I've done that slide. Yeah. And basically when I've done that, I lead into a whole bar of these little gallop rhythms. Remember, if you've seen previous lessons, a gallop rhythm is like this 8th note and 2/16ths. So when you're picking it, it's like a down, down, up, down, down, up. like that. But he leads into it with a kind of 2 E strings pan muted, so it kind of goes 4 and then you get into the bar, 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and like that. And you do that for a whole bar, so you get 4 of them. Then I'm going to take that D power chord, slide it back up to E. Then I go up to G power chord, so I'm up to the 10th fret here with the same shape. Back to the E power chord. Like that, yeah. And once I've done that, I've now got a gallop rhythm to end that bar, and then another bar of gallop rhythms. Okay, so those 4 bars slowly sound like this. Okay, now once we've in the next bar, I'm going to take a D power chord now. So take that 5th fret position and slide it to a C power chord. Yeah. Then I've got a little pan mute on the bass string, 3rd fret, that A string now. Gallop rhythm. Then I do another one. Then I've got 2 eighths. So that little rhythm kind of sounds like this. Yeah. And we have this little thing that sounds like this. To get to this E power chord. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the open A and D strings together. I'm going to hammer on to the 2nd fret, that A string. Then I play the open A and D strings again. Then an E power chord barring at that 2nd fret, the A and D strings there with open E. Picking wise, I do that with a down, up, and then a down on that E power chord. And once I've done that E power chord, I'm now in the next bar, and I kind of end, I start with 2/16, so that's your kind of down up, and then you've got your gallops. Yeah. Now as you're doing those gallops, there's a little lead in when you get back to the E power chord. So we've just done our, obviously our. So I've got this, I play the D power chord and the down up. Kind of lead into it, and the best way of thinking about that is just thinking of like the and of beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's kind of the best way of doing it. And then basically, you know, this is very similar to before. I've got E pan mute, and then a bar of gallops. Yeah, and I have a. But we have another one of these. So basically, we do our slide from our D, G, E. I've got 2 gallops, and then I put that E string again. Then I have this. So I'm playing like a little lead into the D power chord with a down up, down, C, and this time we just slide up to the D chord, and then kind of slide down the neck before we get into the next kind of riff. Now, one thing I will say about this section is there's 2 guitar tracks here. Another guitar track is pretty much playing these chords. And then even this bit, I think this sounds like a 5th in the bass. So you have these chords sustaining where you've got the pan mute and the E string. So what you have to watch out for here, if you want to try and do that same effect on one guitar, you have to kind of pan mute much closer to the saddle. So you've got a little bit more vibration in the strings, but it's not easy to do, but it's something you could try, you know. Now, the last riff basically is a kind of 4-bar riff, and the first 2 bars sound like this. Yeah, really, really cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm playing open pan mute E string 3 times. Then I'm going to play 2nd fret, that D string, with a little pinch harmonic. Dig into it so it screams a little bit, and give it a good bit of vibrato as well. Then we play it again, but with 2 pan mute E's, and then up to the D string. Now rhythmically, what you're doing there is you're playing, so like that's 1 and 2 and 4 and. Okay, so you're coming in the and of beat 3. Yeah. Then you have this bit. So I play pan mute on the E string. Then I'm going to do the 3rd fret of that A string there. Kind of flat 6th interval. And then I'm going to do 2nd fret the A string there. Again, digging in, so the little pinch harmonics and lots of vibrato. Yeah. Then we pretty much repeat that. Instead of going to 2nd fret now, you go to 5th fret. Yeah. So those 4 bars slowly sounds like this. Yeah, and then you repeat that again to kind of get your 8 bars before the verse starts. And that's it, guys. Yeah, so 4 kind of sections there. The first 2 sections are pretty similar. Classic use of a plain power chord, but having that kind of metal kind of pedal note on the E string. So it's a really good riff for working on that. Being able to switch between the chords and the, you know, your kind of palm muted E string. And then of course there's a use of pinch harmonics and stuff that's really fundamental to a lot of George Lynch's kind of riffs and sounds. So awesome riff. I want to say a big thanks to David for suggesting it a good while back, but I thought since I'd, you know, sorted out my new custom Sharble vibe with the humbucker single coil, it'd be pretty cool to do some George Lynch stuff, so I thought it was a bit time needed because of death. Now if you want access to the guitar profile for this, or the animated tab on Sound Slice, or the tone tips, how I got the tone for this, the helix patch, etc., please go over to the Master Guitar Patreon group and check that out. That's obviously perks for the patrons over there. And if you want to be kept up to date with things, please, you know, hit the subscribe button there. Hit the notification bell if you want to be kept up to date. And you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter as well if you want to keep up to date things there. So thanks for watching, guys. Have fun with that riff, and I'll hopefully see you soon.